Great leaders are killed every day, not physically, but mentally. And that, in my opinion, is the worst death. To live without purpose, without changing, without growing, without leaving your legacy in this world. For most people, being a leader is equal to being respected, making a lot of money, being followed unconditionally. But that's not always the case, neither the true essence of being a leader. Leadership needs to go beyond power and titles. It needs to have a purpose, to make the difference in someone's life. I had everything to be a great failure. I'm a black woman, coming from a poor background, therefore power and hopeless, invisible for most people. And for some time, I believed that. I hated myself. I grew up hiding, ashamed of my color, my scars, my hair, the way I talked, the way I walked. I was the ugly duck among the swans. And everybody around me would reassure that all the time. The kids in school would hit me after class because I studied too much or because I wore old clothes that day. Whatever reason they could find to hurt me, they would use. As a teenager, I was outcasted for not having money to go out as often as they would, either having the most fashionable clothes, not to mention my hair and my skin. All that while having to work full-time as a maid and keep my grades at school. The nicest nicknames I got were vulture and slave. Later, my family, co-workers and supervisors would say I was a dreamer. I would never be what I wanted to be. That I should give up trying and focus on real life. That poor people would be always poor. That was destiny. For me, that was real life, and I wanted more. I couldn't accept that I would be struggling for the rest of my life. I remember my father asking me one Saturday afternoon if all I cared about was music and studying, that it was a sad life to have. Thank God, today he changed his mind, is very proud of my studies, and is also a great help running my hotel. At some point, I learned that we can choose complaining, blaming someone else, listen to all this negativity and do nothing about it, or we can take control of our lives and act, building the future we deserve. That's what I did. I worked really hard to stop being visible and to develop a new mindset. Not an easy job, but very rewarding today. I started working at age 8, helping my parents first, from carrying bricks to my dad to filling pillows to my mom, then teaching homework to my neighbors, going to babysitting and cleaning houses at age 12. By the time I was 14, I had to work full-time as a maid and babysitter. I was responsible for cleaning a 2-floor house, doing laundry, ironing, cooking, and taking care of an 8-year-old girl from Monday to Saturday, while going to high school at night. Waking up many nights sleeping over the books in the kitchen just in time to go back to work. Some days were the best. I had to go to church, catch on my studies, do my own laundry, and clean my bedroom. And when I was lucky, I got to make some extra money helping my dad with his construction jobs or cleaning cars. After 5 years as a maid, I decided trying something different. As a result, I've had a few different positions in life, such as cashier, secretary, teacher, administrator, singer, coordinator, working in a variety of businesses, what helped me grow a lot as a person and as a professional. Even though I couldn't afford college yet, I had a lot of dreams, and I know that working and studying would help me getting there. My biggest dreams at 18 were to speak English and to go to college, eventually in the States, if possible. Even if I could go to college in Brazil and do an exchange program later in the States, it would be a huge thing for me. Although it seemed quite impossible at that time. I had no money to study English, less yet to get a degree. As I grew up struggling to make ends meet and had no hope of being able to afford English classes, I decided to teach myself the language I loved so much. It was extremely challenging at first. I had no money for books, no computer, no internet, no smartphones, almost no time, and just a few grammar books in the only public library in my city that we couldn't even take home. I remember saving money for almost a whole semester in order to buy a dictionary and start memorizing words, expressions, and whatever rule I had to know in order to speak the most important language in the world. 8 years later, I did it. Another year after that, I also got a scholarship in a local private university and was able to get my first degree in education. Before going to college, I worked for a very successful entrepreneur in my country, Luiz Helena Trajano. It would be a brand new store in the city. This famous brand would come and bring amazing deals. The marketing was great. Soon enough, it became a dream job to everybody seeking a position. They had this amazing process to hire people, and a month after it started, I was among the 30 new employees selected from 600 candidates. We would spend some time in São Paulo to be trained. One of the final meetings of our training program was with her, the founder. She shared her story, the purpose of her business. As I connected with that, I wrote a song while she spoke, giving it to her at the end of our meeting. Luisa liked it so much that we decided to rehearse and sing to her on our last day. Well, what was meant to be a surprise for her became a big surprise to us. She sent her TV team to record us, and more than that, she played the recording to our families on the store opening cocktail. It was memorable and a great example of true leadership. I remember she telling us, "1 year from now, many of you won't be working for me anymore. But if we inspire your life, that's enough for me." Well, she did a great job with me. That song led me to Rotary a couple years later. The first dream I pursued was as a singer and songwriter. Not easy, especially when you don't have support, resources, or as in that time, the power of the internet. So I gave up after a while. However, the sensations I got that cocktail night with Luisa's words motivated me to start over, to try one more time. That same month, I wrote and recorded 2 more songs. And somehow, I managed to get known in my city, with a couple of songs playing on the radio, writing jingles, and performing at weddings. One day, I entered a beauty salon owned by a Rotarian, and we started talking while she cut my hair. At some point, my song played on the radio. She loved the lyrics and invited me to sing at her Rotary Club meeting to honor our founder. I didn't know yet, but that song and haircut, 12 years later, would change my life forever. For the first time, I had people telling me I was talented, that I should embrace that and grow, explore new opportunities. They showed me I could do so much more. I just had to believe and work towards my goal. I started thinking again about the possibility of an exchange program, improving my English, getting a better job, having more opportunities in life. Well, it wasn't possible yet, and my dream would have to wait a little longer. Life happened, and I lost contact with that Rotary Club, but kept in touch with a few members for a while. A couple years later, a client introduced me to her Rotary Club. As I had so many great memories and good feelings towards Rotary, I joined the club. It was amazing, exciting, the passion the group shared, the connection, the involvement with their communities, and the other Rotary clubs. Not to mention the opportunity to be closer to Rotary members again. As I was studying English really hard and about to move to the US in order to work and study, I was designated to assist our Rotary-sponsored club, welcoming an exchange group coming from England. We spent about 15 days together, and I learned so much. 2 months later, I moved to the US and lived there for 2 years. In the United States, I went to the next stage of reminding myself of my potential and the power I should explore. Once again, I had great role models, my host parents, Knife and Jane. They kept saying I was different, I had potential, and supported me so much that I'll never be able to be grateful enough for all the love and guidance. They took me as family, and we keep that way until today. I finally got to go to college in the States and do my exchange program as an au pair. My goal was to improve my English, learn about inclusion to bring some good examples to Brazil, and if I had luck, take a few business classes. Besides my host parents, I had great teachers who were excellent leaders to me. They encouraged and supported me to make the best academic decisions during my time there. I also had the pleasure to become friends with amazing exchange students, learn about their challenges, culture, and dreams. So many examples of kindness, leadership, and meaningful changes. That's why I encourage everyone at some point, when they are mature enough to understand how big and important it is, to do an exchange program. It's a life-changing experience. Ever since I was a young girl, I had this passion about creating new things. writing songs, stories, creating projects, and being curious about what could be done to make the world a better place. As a grown-up, I had forgotten a lot of that. I was losing my essence, and I'm very grateful I got to meet David, my little American Chinese brother, my host parents, and my new friends who helped me rescue all that. I knew that I should embrace my passion, tell my story being proud of it, the good and hard parts. Keep studying and working to help people creating a better version of themselves. Being more active and productive. And that is the whole point of this speech. You need to know why you want what you want. You need a purpose. If you know that, it's easier to reach your full potential, to overcome the challenges that will come without losing your essence. Life isn't a straight line. Sometimes there are so many turns that the first idea is to go back, get under the covers and stay there forever. Tempting, I admit, but I'm a living proof that isn't the best option, neither the best thing to do with your life and potential. You don't have to change the whole world at once. You start by yourself, your family, your friends. With all of us doing that, soon enough, we will see miracles everywhere. That girl, who many times had to choose between eating or paying for the bus to go to school, who worked for a year cleaning houses to buy her first computer in order to study and seek a better job, who made her mom return goods for not having enough money to pay for them, who was bullied at school for being poor, who didn't have money to pay for college, was now finishing her second MBA, and about to start her third business at age 33. I believe everyone has a purpose in life, and that's our mission to fulfill it. That connected, we can do more. And that's why I created my third company. I thought of this project after receiving an email calling Rotarians to embrace the young professionals from Rotaract. The idea was growing and more people came to the project. My godfather's dear friend, Carlos Pessoa, now my senior advisor, who has a vast experience in leadership. Talking to Carlos, I got this great metaphor about us as leaders. He called it the orange seed. An orange seed carries the genetic code of an orange. When planting the seed, an orange tree will be born, not a strawberry or a pineapple tree. You get oranges. The same happens to us. We are born with the genetic code of victory. We got there first in order to be born. We are great leaders from the very beginning. We just forget that while growing up, and that's a shame. We need to be aware and develop our natural capacity for leadership. Carlos also introduced me to another great professional, Spire Prats. One of his creations for our platform is the Horizons assessment game. He says that in order to stand out as a great leader, you need to develop a group of very important skills. The first one is self-motivation. You are the only person who can really motivate yourself. Motivation is intrinsic. It can't be taken or given to anyone. We can only stimulate. Innovation. We need to reinvent ourselves every day. See the opportunities and do the most of them. Be creative. Proactivity. Things happen for people who are working, who are willing to try the new, the unknown. We need responsibility. We can't blame others for our reality. We need to know that everything that happens to us, somehow we allowed it to happen. We need to know what we want, plan, be organized while working for that, and finally, relationship. We are social people. We need one another. We can do so much more together. As we perfect these skills, we don't only become great leaders, we become better human beings. We inspire people doing the same. We create our legacy. I'm not saying that it was easy. Changing is not easy. I'm saying that it's possible and very rewarding. We need to be stronger than our best excuses. Focus on our goals and our value. Understand that there will be good days and bad days. But most important, we can choose how we will react and what we will do with what we are given. There are so many opportunities and ways we can connect to create new realities. This is a picture of my last speech in grad school back in 2013 that I'll take with me for life. Every time people care about others, they are making the world a better place. They are changing someone's life. Is that a better way to be remembered? I don't think so. I was able to completely change my life because I had a dream, the courage to fight for it, the bless of being seen for someone who believed in my potential, and because of the great leaders who guided and inspired me. From my parents, my host parents, my dear host brother, my teachers, friends, who always saw my potential and supported me from day one, opening my eyes to the amazing opportunities and possibilities we can live when we overcome our fears and challenges. We know we can do more. So let's show the world the greatness of our potential and uniqueness. Be your best self and never stop dreaming. Thank you.